Save your breath this time around. You're too beautiful and it's late. There's nothing left to say. I've wasted all this time on you. It's all the same, we all make mistakes. And if you didn't notice, I'm taking this for all it's worth. If it's a game and these are the stakes, I know I've got the best shot at taking you out of the and race. Every time I think of it, it makes me sick. And I don't wanna know just what happened then. And you've been right in front of my house. That's when you sold me out, girl. And didn't have a clue. You sold me out. Oh, what you think about when you were telling all your friends about how your lips were pressed against this tightly. And I hope. And every time I think of it, it makes me sick. And I don't wanna know just what happened then. And you've been right in front of my house. That's when you sold me out, girl. And didn't have a clue. Oh, what you think about when you sold me out? And every time you go to sleep at night, I wonder what you hide behind closed doors. What else could you be keeping from me? What else could you be keeping from me? And every time you go to sleep at night, I wonder what you hide behind closed doors. What else could you be keeping from me? What else could you be keeping from me? Every time I think of him, it makes me sick. And I don't wanna know just what happened then. And I've been right in front of my house. That's when you sold me out, girl. And didn't have a clue. And every time I think of him, it makes me sick. And I don't wanna know just what happened then. And I've been right in front of my house. That's when you sold me out, girl. Didn't have a clue.
American Slacker Podcast is BYOT. Bring your own tacos.
Dick swinging.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast
We can say fuck.
with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I don't care, I've been smoking, this is cool.
That's a decent amount of sausage.
This man needs a doctor!
Yeah, I just hope they're tasty. What's up with these clowns, man? Cut the lights and went through people's pockets.
Don't you point that at each other.
Let them smoke a little. You need to step it up to that point. We're not gonna lead with the.
We're not gonna leave that.
And I kind of had my come to Jesus moment.
Okay.
Where I stopped
Sounds like a kind of thing.
yeah.
You're like, only small Jim Beam bottles from here on out.
It kind of shifted my consciousness a little bit. I think the way I handle alcohol and stuff. I'm not I used to be definitely one of those drink and bro out, getting punching contests and all that kind of stuff. And just a nice college douche mindset, I feel.
I think we all have that.
I think so. I think it comes with growing too, but this definitely kind of made me grow up fast.
So what exactly happened?
So we were over in the UK and we were touring with Newfound Glory. We were having a great time. This was at the time when Colin was the vocalist and I was a guitarist in the band. And we went out to a bar, had a bunch of drinks, and to the point where I think we took a taxi to another bar. and I just had that classic just blackout. I just blacked out, and when I came to, I remember. I mean, the human memory is fickle as it is, so who knows how blurred this. But what I do remember is kind of like it's kind of like fizzling back into consciousness, and I'm just walking, looking at my shoes. I had these like skull Vans on, and I was just walking in the dark in Birmingham, in the United Kingdom, which would be a rough area in some parts.
Okay.
They had like some riots up too. They just not the best area, especially for a drunk American dude to be walking around at night. And I remember coming to, and I was just walking, and I was like, fuck. I have no idea where I am. Knowing me, I probably just left the bar thinking that I was like at the bar that was, a block from our bus. And I think what happened was we had taken a taxi, and then I got blacked out, and I was just like, I'm at the same bar. But I definitely wasn't at the same bar. So I'm walking, and I just realized I have no idea where the fuck I am. I have absolutely no idea. I tried flagging down taxis to tell them to take me to the, I think the venue was one of the, it was Academy. There's a couple like academies. They're like kind of like these venues in the UK that, in different cities, they have like the Academy 2 and all that stuff. And I remember trying to tell them where to take me. I was like, I just need to go there. But I think with all my slurred speech and stuff, they just couldn't understand me, and they didn't want to deal with just a drunk guy.
American dude.
So I remember like a couple of taxis, I was just trying to beg them, like, I need to go to the Academy. And they're like, I don't know what you want, man.
Oh,
and
shit.
kept just driving off. So I'm walking, and I come up, there's this group of dudes walking by, and I remember asking them if they knew how to get to the Academy. And first thing I remember was just a punch across the face.
Oh.
And yes, and that's when like the adrenaline kicks in. This is like where I remember like my memory kicks in. And I remember the first words out of my mouth was, "Oh, that's not cool, man."
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and then I get another hit in the face, and I'm just like, that's when my body kicks in. I'm like, yo, you're about to get fucked up. So like I just feel the adrenaline like kick in, and I swing at this dude, and I remember feeling the bridge of his nose and my fingers, and something was like cracked. I think it might have been his nose, and definitely was my finger the next day. But I hit this dude, and then I just run. That's like my instinct is just fucking run. And again, like, that's what I remember is just seeing my shoes, and like at this point, like before then, like I was barely able to walk, and communicate to a taxi driver where I needed to go. But just that adrenaline kicked in. I just remember like running for my life, thinking I think there was 5 of them. And again, this is fuzzy Nick,
right?
Fuzzy Nick memory.
As much as you can piece it together.
I just totally assumed, I was like, they're gonna fuck me up. They're gonna mug me. They're gonna do it. And I just ran as fast as I could. I remember just taking turns. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even listen. I just kept running and running and running. Until I literally could not run anymore. And I turned around, and nobody was following me. I was out of breath, and I looked to my left, and there's a police station right there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I go up, and I push. They have the doors are locked, and they have a call button. And I push the button, and they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'm an American. I'm lost. He's like, get a taxi back. I'm like, dude, I've tried. Please just let me come in. And figure out where I am and stuff. So let me come in, and thankfully, our merch guy Ollie Mack, who's also lived over in the UK, he had put out an APB because they realized I was missing. And they put an APB for a drunk American, and so I got there.
We know what that looks like. We'll find him.
Yep. And so they were like, "Oh, yep, your mates are looking for you," and my guys got a taxi, and I remember. Our tour manager Evan, he had this. I remember you guys remember Bathing Ape, like the clothing brand Bathing Ape. They would have like just ugly ass hoodies and stuff. I remember seeing his ugly fucking hoodie coming up from the darkness to the front door, and it was the best thing I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, Evan, rescue, yes. So they rescued me. We went back to the bus, and the story's not done there because after we got to the bus, we took off from there. And I wake up to somebody talking about, it was our bus driver, Steve, who was the nicest dude in the world. He played drums for Morbid Angel. I remember him, he had a giant pentagram back piece, and he was the nicest dude in the fucking world. But I remember him saying something as I'm waking up in the morning, like, your mate pissed in the front of the bus. And I flash back, and during a gas station stop that night, I had gotten up and sleptwalked, and we had a double-decker bus, and I was on the top deck, and I proceeded to pee down the front of the bus. And as, like, Steve's sitting there, like, getting ready to park to get gas, he's like, it's not raining. And he looks up, and it's me just raining piss down the front of the bus.
Oh, no.
That was, yes.
Man.
Yes. So that was my final, and he didn't beat my ass or anything. He cleaned up the piss, like, nicest dude in the fucking world. I couldn't apologize enough. But that was my come to Jesus moment. Where we're just like, shoot, let's bring it in. Let's get your shit together. It's time to stop being a fucking douchebag. It was that kind of thing.
Moderation's a great thing.
Yep, exactly. And for the next week or two, I was pulling thorns out of my leg. So I must have fallen into bushes and stuff too. I was pulling these giant thorns out of my leg that I had fallen into and stuff. So that was my After that, I stopped drinking, and actually the only thing we had on the bus was weed. And up to that point, I only smoked weed every once in a while because it would give me the spins, because I would just smoke it when I get fucked up. And smoking weed kind of gave me that perspective of really making me step back and really look at my life and the decision I made and how it affected other people and stuff. So that was kind of my start to, I guess, being I'm not the best person, obviously, but kind of being a better person than what I was, and realizing how my actions affect others and how I could hurt myself and all that. So
it's good to have that kind of perspective.
Exactly. And unfortunate that it ended up that way, because it could have ended up a lot worse. So yeah,
absolutely.
That's my big story. I've told it a couple times, but that's my big story where I kind of came around. It was just really a sobering moment where I just needed to kind of get my shit together and stop being an asshole. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, I feel like we're coming in like Aesop's Fables.
Yeah.
We got a moral to the story, and I like that. Right. It's one of the best ways we have started the show.
Sure.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jesse, and today we're joined by the lovely voiced Nick Thompson.
Yeah, nice to be here, yeah.
Oh,
there we
baby,
go.
Calm down.
Ladies, keep your britches on.
Because ladies wear britches, yes.
Well, I don't know what era they're listening to this podcast.
It's a britches dropper. That's what it is.
Britches are making a comeback, man. Calm down.
So Nick, do you want to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your history kind of musically and all that?
My history musically, I just a corn-fed Ohio boy. Grew up going to hardcore and punk shows, and was fortunate enough to meet a bunch of guys and start a band called... Well, I didn't start the band. I joined the band Hit the Lights, and it just ended up kind of progressing from there and taking us from Ohio to, to Indiana, to California, to around the world. It's kind of just really my dream come true, for sure.
I think anywhere around the world, you can ask somebody, and a lot of people know Hit the Lights, man. It's, you guys have been out all over. Yeah, we've been listening to you for a long, long time. What year did you end up joining Hit the Lights, actually?
I joined in 2004, around April of 2004, yeah. So it's
so early on.
It's over a decade now, and it happened so fast.
Yeah,
wow,
I bet, man. And among other things, he didn't even mention Thief Club.
Yeah,
I love the Thief Club.
Thank you, man.
Jesse did a good comparison. He said it's like you took Hit the Lights and you put it on a little bit of a 4 Year Strong, more aggressive stroke, man. And I really enjoyed that.
Good, thank you, man. It's just songs that are super personal to me, and yeah. Actually, I listened to. Me and my fiance, I listened to that record for the first time in a long time on our way back. We had just played a festival last week in Pittsburgh called Four Chord Fest with my guys. The only show we played this year is Hit the Lights.
Cool.
And I went through just bumfuck where I didn't have phone service, and I had that record. It was one of the only records I had on my phone, so I got to kind of revisit everything. And I was like, oh man, it was really nice. Because there's it's just a very, very personal record, and even Lee, my fiance, she was like, "This is really fucking sad." I was like, "Yeah, it is, but in the best way, because it's it's just that catalyst of what with me kind of getting emotions of over loss and frustration and all the stuff that I think that people go through life, and it's just my outlet for that, and it's still powerful. It still hits home. Like when I hear it again too, I'm really, really proud of it, and I'm proud of all the producers I got to work with it. And it's we're not going to stop there. I'll definitely be releasing more in the future.
That's
Good.
awesome. That's awesome, man.
That's what we were hoping to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. New York Mansions. I was jamming out so hard to earlier. Honestly, I was. It's like my favorite song. I love it.
Awesome, man.
I'm really into that one.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm really proud of it, and that all comes with like that song came from we basically grew up as a band in New Jersey, recording albums and stuff, and we stayed at our friend Sammy the Bull's house for literally combined probably a year or two. Recording albums and staying with him, and he lived in downtown Newark in this area that just like block by block you live in these there are just these mansions, just these beautiful old mansions. 'Cause, like Newark is Newark, New Jersey, by the way, anybody that doesn't know, is this city kind of marred with class division and stuff like that. They had these giant race riots in the 60s during like kind of their industrial revolution stuff too, that just marred the city and really like made the separation. So they have all of these industrial kingpins that built all of these giant fucking mansions and stuff, and by the 60s just ended up like leaving, getting chased out, and then so you have these neighborhoods that with these $1 million homes and stuff right next to these bodegas and these kind of projects and stuff too, and it's just such an interesting dynamic. And especially seeing, like I said, where New York Mansions came from, just seeing these giant mansions that were just abandoned, that are just immaculate and amazing, and just for some reason or other, just people had to take off because of all the turmoil that was going on. You could just really feel that history and that animosity and that just that cultural divide that just ripped through that city and really fucked that city up, and all that divide, all that pain and stuff is still very much there for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And the romanticizing of that I thought was really interesting for the song. I really do like that. What's been going on lately with Hit the Lights, man? What are you guys up to right now?
Well, we started out last year. We started recording a couple songs. We were off our label, Pure Noise, and we had some time off. Here's the thing: a lot of our bandmates now, like Nate and Kyle especially, they've started a family and have children and stuff. So that right away is like that comes first, and we love that, and obviously we all support that. So there's a weaving around that. When we have tours or anything like that, we have to make sure they're tours that are worthwhile, and make sure that they're not taking us away for too long. So we started, absolutely, and it complicates things, but I think in a good way, and it's something that I'm very happy for all my guys. They have a beautiful family, and it's great. It's definitely a weird dynamic turning into it, because it's when you're on the road for as long as we have. Like I'm a man child. Like I have yet to grow. I'm 34, but I have yet to. I feel being on the road for over a decade stunts your growth socially, I guess.
Your growth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, because when you're in a band, you're away for months at a time, and you come back, and all your friends have, they have all these day jobs, and they work either factories or business jobs and stuff. So like all of our friends have been starting to have kids, when they were from 21 to through 30 and all of that. So like we've all seen our friends grow up and stuff instantly, because once they have those kids, it changes everything. But for us,
they're on that career path,
course.
go to college, get married, have a job, have a kid.
Just that different path in life. And when you're in a path with music and touring in a band and stuff, it's a very, very different life. I would compare it to, there's a lot of partying involved. There's absolutely.
Yeah.
It's you're definitely in like a college atmosphere. You're like, because what else do you have to do?
You're an entertainer.
Yeah, you're an entertainer. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You're so monotonous, because while everyone else is going to their 9-to-5 job every day, you're doing that, but you're going to a venue, playing a show, drinking, because there's nothing else to do at the venue besides getting online. And then going to the next place,
interacting with people after the show,
and social,
and then doing the bus grind.
Yep, absolutely. So it builds a different person, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think that all of us came out okay from it, but I will say that, like I said, I'm a man child. I'm a 34-year-old man child where I'm coming into things that my friends came into at 25 just now, with house payments and all that stuff. So it's it stunts you in that way, but I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just different. In the same aspect, when our band members have kids and stuff like that, they're snapping into that stuff now, and it makes it more complicated for us to do a full-time thing, and that's just not an option anymore. But you had mentioned that you guys played one show this year for the most part? One show. We had released some singles over time, and we were going to release an EP, but Kyle, our guitarist, and his wife Kaylin had a happy surprise, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, it just happened, and it was awesome. We're all happy, and they were very happy, and she's a beautiful baby girl. So nice. Yeah, and that's now awesome. Nate, our drummer, he's expecting his third child, so things get a little more complicated, and there's no planning, I guess, at this point. It's for us, we're just happy. Like, if things make sense right now, we're happy to hit the lights and get together and see each other. But for now, there's no plans for the future, just because family will, their family is the most important thing. Oh yeah. Is that where Thief Club kind of came out of? Was you sort of looking for a way to do something that you could put a little bit more into? Yeah, time wise. Well, Thief Club was something that came out of. I think we had Just a little history for what happened. Hit the Lights was on Universal for a while, and we kind of got stuck on that label trying to write a record that they wanted. Went through a really rough time where, we just... and I'm not shit-talking the label or anything like that, because obviously it's a business, that's what they wanted, but they didn't want Hit the Lights to be Hit the Lights. So we were trying to find our way to write around and try to get these songs on the radio, and get their approval for something that they wanted, while at the same time, just for, like, this whole time we were just Hit the Lights, and now we had to figure out how can we be Hit the Lights, but Hit the Lights that they want, and we can get the go ahead to record. So we were just writing all these songs, right. Going in with all these songwriters, which was something that was very foreign to us, and I learned a lot from it. But it really messes with your confidence as a songwriter. It changes everything about it and the dynamic, because we'd always grown up, like, we wrote these songs just because we loved to write songs, and that's what got us signed, and people attached themselves to them, and that's kind of where we went from there. And then this different aspect came in where you're just ground down into something like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm writing for. So after we released Invicta, and that was a record that very much came out of that, of us really exploring different parts of Hit the Lights and who we were as a band and stuff. I've heard some people refer to it as like Hit the Lights on a lot of weed, which I think is accurate. It's accurate. It's definitely spacey and more ethereal. But like that record was received, like half our fan base loved it and half our fan base hated it. And after going through such a tumultuous time with the label and getting off the label and finding other one stuff, it was just exhausting. And I feel like everyone just was just done. It was just like the industry just kind of ground us down and just broke us. And like, I had such a terrible taste in my mouth for music, and I just kind of swore off music for a little bit. And Thief Club came in where like we were off the road for, I think, a year and a half or something, and I just dug up all these songs that I really liked that the label had said no to, and I was like, I think these are good. These are what I want to do, and I just want to have an outlet to it. So this was like, Thief Club was a way to get all of these songs off my chest that I had written, so I could kind of move on to the next step that I wanted to as a songwriter, So that's where Thief Club came in. And interesting juxtaposition with the name of the group, because it's almost like you stole the songs from yourself. Yeah, definitely. A little bit. I actually got it from a South Park episode called About Last Night, where they had Osama bin Laden and John McCain and Sarah McPalin. They were in a thief club to steal like the Hope Diamond. That was like the whole plot. Okay. And he said Thief Club, and it just like tickled my brain, and I was like, I'm gonna remember that. And then it came to fruition later on, where I ended up using that to kind of put it over those songs. So that's what Thief Club was, and like I said, it was definitely a catalyst to get. It was getting me back into music and showing myself that like, this is why you love music in the first place, because you wrote it because you loved it, and it wasn't about trying to get your record out, and it wasn't about trying to like get stuff on the radio. It was just a very pure. I just went back to the basics. It was just like I just wanted to make music to get out my emotions at the time, and that's why it was such a great thing for me, and it really helped me to move on as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And it's I have to say it's a little sad when someone at the label or the record company is the one putting the brick wall up.
Yeah, it's like it's like everybody wants to get their hands in the kitchen. And unfortunately it's like a lot of people don't have the right to be in the kitchen in the first spot. It's not their art to be controlling.
Right?
You guys, I've obviously been creating content that people fucking love. I mean, in the scene, people love Hit the Lights. Like, get the fuck out of here. Don't touch that. Let them be. Like, that, hearing this from an outsider, from a fan perspective, it's just, like, makes me want to go slap any record label that wanted to touch anything that you guys are doing.
It's like, who are you to stop this from being shared with anyone who would enjoy it? Just because you don't like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not worth something. Yeah.
It should be a lab. You should be running, like, an experiment that they let go in a contained area on their own. In my opinion. And I understand there's a lot of money at stake. A lot of people are worried about that return.
Sure, absolutely.
But you know what? They fuck themselves because they're going to make you change. And like you said, you're second guessing your confidence. That's a big issue. Like because of some executive, some producer, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like they picked you up in the first place, so they should like what you're able to produce. It should be more of a supportive role rather than a managerial role. Which it's nice that a lot of stuff can be made independently.
Yeah, exactly. Days. But and I think that in defense of our A&Rs, like I think they genuinely liked our music. I think we got signed because of our fan base. But then they, I'll be honest, like the songs weren't there as far as radio goes because pop punk doesn't work on radio. It just does. Like there's been
it's tough unless you have an alternative station or something.
Yeah, there's been like very few pop punk bands that have like been able to make it, and cross that threshold of alternative. At the time, I think Anne Boleyn was like the big band on our label that had crossed the threshold and made it to like alternative radio. And even then, like we're not Anne Boleyn. Like we're more. The closest we had was like All Time Low. And again, like we were maybe like a heavier version, and like All Time Low still, like they made it hard to break radio, and they haven't broke radio, but they've had number one records on iTunes. So like it just goes to show you, there's just not that radio is not the platform for our type of music, and that doesn't mean that it's not successful. It just means that it's not the best platform for pop punk and what it was,
And the paradigm's changing for everything, whether it be television, music, fucking radio, podcasting, thing
absolutely
involved with. People are getting it in different ways, and I feel like a lot of these industries haven't caught up to kind of modern day, I guess, in a way.
Well, they're clinging on. They're just clinging on to like whatever they can.
Yeah, they're holding on because that's what they know, and it makes it easier for them to try and stick with it. But it's all gonna kind of fall away.
Yeah, the irony of it is like still something that like rings true to me now because like ever since we were in the band, like my vision of success, like my vision of like this is when I know I made it was to be signed to a major label. And then the irony of all that whole thing is like ultimately that's kind of what killed any momentum that Hit the Lights had, was being on that major label, which is really funny in a sense, and kind of like something that like I still take with me now is you can make these goals and stuff like that too, but like if you're not enjoying the ride and where you are at the time anyway, and constantly always thinking about up, you're kind of missing out on everything anyway, Like, because you'll hit that peak and then you hit there and it's like, what else is there? And it's like, oh, this isn't what I needed in the first place,
Yeah.
Yeah. Constantly searching.
You could hit that goal and you feel empty.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you should absolutely be doing it for why you're doing it in the first place, like writing the music, getting it
right
out there.
And that eventually all came around again. I had that self-realization, which is like I just need to write music the same reason why we started writing music with Hit the Lights in the first place. And that was a beautiful thing. It was kind of like a little rejuvenation of and the rejuvenation of confidence in myself, because I was definitely down a really deep dark hole. I think we all were.
Yeah, music naturally like attracts that,
Sure.
Like it's like such a good way to just get that out too, it creates such good content.
Yeah,
honestly,
well, I feel like it resonates through the song too. When you have that raw honesty, I feel like that in general is what people react to most. The thing that people vibe to, they pick that up. They pick up the honesty in it. I truly believe that.
Oh yeah, and I think that's you guys resonated to me like through my youth, honestly, like as such a unique act. And Jesse's one of the ones responsible actually for showing
Jesse.
who Hit the Lights was. So it's all up to Jesse. Like I gotta say,
my man.
I gotta
right now.
And I gotta just like you're kicking the props to me. I gotta kick the props to an old ex-girlfriend because she's the one that I heard it from, and I was like, damn, like she had a really good taste in music. Though, so,
Thank you so much, you fucking bitch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's all right in my book.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least I got you guys out of her. So yeah, no, it's I've been listening to you guys for a while. You've been on my playlist constantly, just kind of mixed in there with all my other favorites. Brand new and 4 Years Strong. Some earlier or more recent ones, I should say.
Yeah, honestly, like, man, you're definitely one of the most listened to bands on my fucking playlist. I gotta say, like, all your shit always is on shuffle.
And with Thief Club, Matt had told me about Thief Club. I didn't realize that you were working on something new, and only last week or so, I started listening to it, and I'm just like, this is great.
Cool.
I feel like I'm getting a whole new batch.
It is. It's like a whole new batch of HTL
stuff.
kind of stuff. It's definitely like along the veins of that.
Untouched. It's so funny, the story you gave us, I'm like, holy shit. It is. It's Hit the Lights untouched without anybody fucking sticking their fingers in there. Like, it's I like it.
Sure. And on note, as well, I think, I think that I honestly do best with the guys with me. And I enjoy doing Thief Club and stuff, but at the same time, I had just instances recording those songs. I'm just like, I just wish I had someone in there, like, give me like a different twist on it, or like give me some new ideas. Because I stand by like our last Hit the Lights album, Summer Bones, I feel is our best release, and I think that's one of the reasons we call it Summer Bones is just because we just went back to bare bones. We all sat in a room and wrote those songs together, and I feel like we literally got just kind of the best record we've ever written, in my opinion.
I'll vouch. Yeah, Fucked Up Kids reminded me of some classic Hit the Lights.
Absolutely, and that all comes from Kevin and Dave and Omar and Nate. That's all of them are all in that, and that's all just bouncing stuff off each other and challenging each other to come up with something better. So I love Thief Club, and I love that that's my freedom now, and I can do that. But I love Hit the Lights for the fact that I have those other guys in there giving me new perspectives on stuff, so it's not just all Nick, because I can bore myself to death for sure. So there's a beautiful aspect of both.
You got to kind of be a little crazy too to just do it on your own.
Yeah,
it's nice to have that support. It's nice to have essentially they're your family. Like that's why you always go back to them.
Absolutely. And it's nice to have someone who brings up the idea and you're like, oh, I didn't fucking think of that because that's not a fucking Nick idea. If you listen to the Thief Club stuff,
right.
I can tell you like. I'm not a mysterious person. You can tell like structure and songs and stuff. And you can tell it's times where I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just go to the bridge then. Cool, I'll do that. So it's nice to have other people that are just like, what if we did this? And I'm like, I didn't think of that. That's awesome. That's always a beautiful thing.
Yeah, as a former musician, I can totally understand that. You need the bounce, man. You gotta have you guys just have that chemistry. That doesn't work just naturally. It's just
even
you guys
even
have
with
built
the
this
podcast.
chemistry.
A lot of times, idea wise, like it's nice to have the other person. Me and Matt bounce.
Well,
each other all the time.
We used to be a band, believe it or not. But
Fate
the chemistry.
Fate
You gotta have the
deals
chemistry.
jokers.
I feel like if you're gonna have any type of collaboration, how dare you name drop, sir? If you're gonna have any type of collaboration project, you gotta have that. You gotta have the chemistry.
Sure.
And without a doubt, you guys have that chemistry. So I definitely see why you're like you need that. You need that structure almost. Like you need your right hand man, your left hand man type deal. Like. It's just what you're used to. You're the family, like Jesse said.
Yeah, and there's a beauty in both sides. Like, there's times when I just love just doing whatever the fuck I want, but there's times, too, I'm just like, I feel this could be better, and nobody's here to tell me that. Like, this could have been better, and someone could have been like, we could have done better, and, we just went with it. So, like I said, there's that beautiful balance, and that's why it's important.
They see things you don't.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
stuff,
absolutely.
Now, I have to say something totally unrelated to music. It seems like you're a bit of an outdoorsman.
I am.
I was wondering that
I
myself.
like the trees.
Spend some time on the water?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So where are you guys located at?
I'm in San Jose, California.
Okay.
And Albany, New York.
Oh, you got the Albany.
We're both from the Poughkeepsie, New York area.
Okay.
Originally.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so like I obviously I'm from Ohio originally and stuff.
You know the chants.
No, I know the chants. I know the chants very well. I've had definitely some of my favorite
that was
shows.
like our home venue.
Okay, definitely some of our favorite Hit the Light shows were at the Chants. Thinking that place was gonna fall to the ground, for sure.
Oh my God, it's still standing. I'll vouch
I can't
for it. I went
believe
there
it.
last year. I drove down there.
I can't believe it.
It still stands somehow, some way.
But you know, like with winter, especially being in Albany and stuff like that, I just like especially with Ohio, like I was just done with winter. I'm fortunate enough that like my fiance was from Myrtle Beach, so I was able to move down here. And even this past winter was it was cold down here in Myrtle Beach. Like we had snow and ice and stuff. So like
oh wow,
yeah, in my free time, I write songs for people. I get hired to write songs, and I work on my own music. But I just had a really long fucking winter where I was so tired of being inside. Ugh. And I love kayaking. That's like something I've always loved to do. It's something that's connected with me. And my fiance randomly brought up, I think it was like on like Facebook Jobs or whatever. She's like, "Oh, this kayak tour guide company is hiring." I'm just like, "What?" So I called him up and I checked it out. And because I just wanted to get out of the house anyway, I wanted something to do, and I was like, if I can get paid to fucking kayak, I don't know what else I want right now,
dude.
And yeah, it's been a great time. Honestly, like it's been completely different. And I work for a company called J&L Kayaks, which honestly has the best owners on the face of the planet. I work with the best people ever. And it's cool. It's a fun job that keeps me active, and I do tours through some of the most beautiful places in South Carolina, rivers and inlets and stuff. And obviously I have to take pictures sometimes because what else? If you don't take pictures, you weren't really there anyway.
Yeah,
right there,
yeah,
of course.
You better hashtag it too, because if you don't hashtag it, then
exactly. So this whole summer, honestly, I've taken a little break. I did a little producing and stuff here and there, but like I've just been doing this kayak thing, and soon it'll come to an end. Tour season will come to an end, and I'll miss it again. Right now, I'm a little burnt out, and I'm ready to get back to songwriting and stuff. But it's been a really excellent part of my life now, where like I said, I have a blast, and I'm outside all the time.
That's a
which
cool
I love.
job, man.
That's a wicked cool job, man. I feel like that's the perfect job for somebody that's creative like that. It's like you can't have that fucking like stuck in a rhythm type deal like of a normal
stuck in
thing.
an office.
Yeah, you gotta have something freelance like that. Like just I'm out in fucking nature, bitch.
Absolutely.
Just
and I think there is. I
know?
think there's something to be said. I do truly believe that nature's a big part of us as humans, and then something that we're slowly like falling away from. And I think that a lot of like the depression stuff that's coming up has to do with us being away from where we naturally were. And I will say that
hold on. Side question:
Yeah.
Are you Indian at all?
I probably not. I'm pretty white. I don't.
Oh, damn it! You let me down, Nick.
I'm just tan.
Indian, so I'm like always like, hold on.
Matt's always asking.
I'm Native American. I'm a good percentage.
Yo, I will get down with some
like,
peyote with you, my friend. Anytime you want to go, let's do it.
Fuck yeah!
I better be invited.
We'll talk about this after the show because this might not be legal.
It is if you're part of a Native American church, which I am.
There you go.
So there it is.
Ooh,
we're
good. We're good.
Yeah, we're covered.
We're good.
But that's awesome. It's not a normal 9-to-5 job.
No, not at all. And I think that it being out in the sun and being around nature stuff like that definitely. I deal with seasonal depression. It runs in my family. It sounds silly, but it's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely can fuck you up and get you in a weird headspace. And having this has helped me battle that extremely well. It's like any other job. It can
100%.
It can be frustrating sometimes. You deal with tourists and people, and like most of them are awesome.
Some are
Sometimes
better
they're a
than
headache,
others,
of course. But the fact is, too, again, like every time you're out there on the water and you're seeing these, seeing these awesome views and stuff, it's hard to be mad, for sure.
Now, is it open ocean, or is this more like rivers?
Right now, we have a river tour that we do. That's beautiful. It's like one of my favorites because you're in the middle of nowhere and literally all you hear is just the forest and stuff, and you're on for about 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive.
Me and Jesse have done a bunch of those.
Yep.
Those are fun.
Come down.
We did paddleboarding
Please come
too.
down. Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck with paddleboards too. Paddleboards are a little harder, just like a little more work. But
I was burnt out. I felt like my core. Someone hit me.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we were definitely burnt after. I fell off immediately. I went to get on it the first time, and Jesse's like watching me, and I just fell into the river.
Well, you get it.
You
gotta get your finesse. Exactly. Like once you get it, though, you'll get it. But as far as where we are, we're like right at an inlet. Right, it's called Cherry Grove, and it's like pretty much one of the southern points of South Carolina. And there's an island called Whitty's Island that is the southernmost border island in South Carolina. So we just do tours out to this island. That's this uninhabited, undisturbed island out there. It's beautiful. Like there's just wildlife out the fucking ass. It's I've learned so much, and a lot of my coworkers are like have been like biology students going to coastal Carolina and stuff. So like every time I'm out there, I'm learning something new. And, you just get a real appreciation. Like, dude, loggerhead sea turtles, all this stuff. And I also see the downsides where, like, we'll see, like, the human interaction where I find, and I have to report, dead sea turtles that have plastic lodged in their throat or, like, fishing lines around their necks. So you see that human interaction and why, like, people don't see that and they don't think about it. And, So there's that whole thing, too, where I'm getting the grip of, like, we need to start waking up to what we're actually doing to the ecosystem, because in reality we are all part of this whole system, and like we like to think we're not.
It's our home. We don't got another planet.
Exactly. So, yeah, not to get hippie shit, but yeah.
I got a question that I want you to answer.
Sure.
It seems to me like South Carolina is the hidden gem of the U.S. right now. I don't know why, but I feel like everybody's trying to move there. Everybody's trying to go on vacation there. Is it true? Are you guys hiding like the nicest place right now in the U.S.? Is it really that nice on the beach and everything?
Here's what I do know, because I'm sure
you've been around.
Did your family ever come down to Myrtle Beach or the area for vacation?
Yes,
I went there once. Yes, when I was younger.
Okay, so there was a marketing campaign in the '90s. Hilton was one of them, and there was a couple other marketing companies that got together, and they decided to market to Ohio areas like the Cincinnati, Dayton, Cleveland areas, and as well as upstate New York, all around Albany, Poughkeepsie, all that stuff. And they would just bombard people with stuff, and that created a giant influx of people coming down. So now, like, Ohioans are well known for coming down to South Carolina, as well as New Yorkers. Who else? Virginians,
probably Jersey and stuff too.
Jersey, yes, as well. So there's a giant marketing campaign in the '90s that's still coming through today, and that kind of made that bridge there. So
it's amazing how that shifted like the whole vacationing of a coast.
Absolutely.
It's just like we'll isolate this area.
Populations of those towns probably exploded after that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Because we know a lot of people in our school, their families have moved down there. Like, it's just, I'm always hearing about South Carolina being, the spot right now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, and there's such
marketing.
They're marketing. It's fucking marketing. Of course it is. But there's amazing places down here too. Like, Charleston's got like an influx. Charleston used to be awesome, and now it's like too much. People are just coming down there night and day. Wilmington is a new place that's fantastic. Just got an awesome area with tons of breweries and all these like just new businesses and stuff booming, and it's just like a nice, still small town feel. I think it's gonna be like New Charleston, that kind of feel. And the reason I love Myrtle Beach, I think Myrtle Beach has gotten like kind of like the Dirty Myrtle name for it.
What a phrase!
What, the Las Vegas of the beach? What are you talking about?
Yes, but the cool thing about Myrtle, and this is coming from a transplant like myself, is we get that influx of tourism and stuff like that comes in during the summer. So we have all the amenities of amenities. I can't talk. Amenities of a.
I do that too. Don't worry.
It's all right. Of a big city, we got malls, any like so much good food, all this stuff. But then once tourist season ends, it's all ours. There's and like we don't have that much traffic in the first place, but like after tourist season's done, which it'll be done probably this week, like for the next couple months, we still have amazing weather and everything is ours for, up until May, which is really cool.
It's fantastic. Like a ghost town, right?
It's not a ghost town anymore because more people have been moving in, obviously, again. But
you normally the tourism season, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's dramatically different.
And this city thrives on tourism. Like a lot of my friends and stuff, they make all their money during the summer and stuff, and they just live off that through the winter until the next one. That's kind of
coast.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
It's different. Yeah. It's a different scene, but it's very cool, and that's why I like it a lot. Because we have all of this stuff to do. We have so much stuff to do all the time, and maybe 3 months out of the year, it gets a little crowded for a little bit, and it's nothing nobody can handle. It's nothing more than like a big city.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm out here in the Bay Area of California, so traffic, it's probably
nothing close to
the worst it could be out here. Yeah,
nothing close to that.
Hey, before I moved out here, one of the friends of the show, one of our Patreon donors, he warned me about the traffic out here, and I was like, it can't be that bad. It's absolutely terrible.
Just take the chunk of your life,
you only have to deal
soul sucking.
Yeah, right.
Soul sucking.
Well, at least I work off hours so that I'm not getting caught in the main rush hour of it. But no, South Carolina sounds beautiful, and like Matt said, it seems to be a secret little gem that of America.
I'm firm on that. I think it is the hidden gem of the U.S. right now. Everybody talk. I fantasize about Cali a lot. Maybe Florida. But no, I think it's South Carolina. I think it's a little bit north of what you think Paradise is. I think Carolina's they're figured out there.
I'll back you on that. And it's not too expensive to live at all either. Like they don't overcharge everything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you go to like California, or say you want to live in New York City, even you don't want the nice weather. It's like you're going to pay out the ass for the location.
Yep.
You go to Carolina, you got the nice weather, you got the nice, it's spread out still.
Yeah.
You're not
don't get me wrong, it's hot
asshole.
as fuck right now. It's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's also hot as
I'll
fucking
take that
Ohio.
over the cold?
Exactly. It's hot as fucking Ohio, but we have a beach, so it's all right.
Yeah.
It
There
buffs
you go.
out.
Some coastal access.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So if people wanted to find some of the stuff that you're working on, where's the best place for them to go about doing that?
Right now, I have a new website that's going to come soon. It's going to be nickjams.com, but it's not up yet. And I'll be able to tell...
With an S or a Z, I have to ask.
With an S. I thought about it, though. I thought about it. I was like, do I want to go... I probably should have, now that I think about it. And then every time you
get the second domain.
Yeah, every time you hit the website, like there's like a electric guitar, like wow, wow, just a nice pizza, hot pocket pizza roll, 90s commercial,
Bill and Ted style,
exactly. But right now, if you want to hear anything, it's just Hit the Lights and Thief Club, and you can hit me up on my Facebook. Said I've been producing some records. I've got a new record I do with my friend Rick King out at King Sound Studios in Paducah, Kentucky. We've been producing some bands. We did the last Forever Came Calling EP that I definitely suggest you check out. It's fucking awesome. I love it to death. It means a lot to me. And we just did a band from Australia, our good friends in Kids in Control, that will be coming out soon. Just old school, really fun fucking pop punk. I feel like the pop punk genre for a while just took itself way too fucking seriously. And I think that it's all secular and it's all going to come back to... We need some good times right now. The world we live in, this state, we just need to fucking smile again. I don't give a shit if ska comes back. I don't fucking care. We just need to have some good times again. I think it's all coming back, and I think this the release we did with Kids in Control kind of reflects that as well. Coming back to just the late 90s, early 2000s, good fucking pop punk. That I think everybody will enjoy.
And turbulent times always produces the best punk.
Absolutely.
True. Yeah, and we are in that kind of fucking times right now. I've got to say, man, that era, the golden era of pop punk is just, I love it, man. And I listen to all the same bands over and over again because there's nothing like it, I feel like, in my own... I love that era.
Yeah. Well, it definitely, it's got its own sound. It all kind of separates itself. It's got its own sound, just like, the early 90s had its own sound of the pop punk with Descendants and Green Day and all that stuff. And it just kind of, you just see that evolution, from like the bands that listen to that, turn into that, and it's a beautiful thing. But I feel like, the pop punk for a while has been just so fucking serious and just yelling at the mic and so self-deprecating and all that stuff, and I think I think everything runs its course, and like I think that it's coming back to something like people need to feel good for a while,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are scrambling to adapt to modern times instead of just like continuing to do what they're doing.
Yeah,
like what they were doing beforehand, rather.
Yeah, and it's all it's always
Something
interesting
more
to see where music goes because you pick up people's influences from all the all the stuff, music they've listened to before. So like, what are people now? What songwriters coming up, what are they going to take from this last era? Where are they going to go from that?
Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting, and I think that's a very interesting thing to always look at and see the patterns and like see what things remind you of what. For a while there was a lot of 90s worship, I feel, as far as like 90s grunge and stuff. And being a kid in the 90s that grew up in a place where like all my friends listened to grunge, and I was like, I guess I'll listen to this too, until I found Blink-182, and I was like, this is awesome. Grunge is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It was always really funny for me, because I always thought, I was like, yo, after I found pop punk, I was like, grunge is fucking garbage. That's not what I wanted. That's just what I thought I was supposed to listen to. So that was really funny for me, like seeing that shift of like all this 90s worship of like how good grunge was, and I was like, it wasn't that good.
No, man, nah. It was like a placeholder at the time.
For sure. Well, it was something, it was honest. That's why I feel like grunge was the break that people had from the commercialized, like, where metal got into heavy metal, like hair metal, where like, so they commercialized it and packaged it up and like made it all about looks again, just made it in the pop aspect. So grunge was
the anti-hair metal.
Exactly. It was the anti-hair metal.
Yeah.
And that's why it was cool at the time.
Yes.
Not necessarily because it was good music, because when you listen to that shit now, that shit wouldn't fly on the radio. Fuck no. But
No. Pop punk to the radio is like all American rejects, like new shit. Like it's totally different. And
the genre in itself has always been sort of more of an underground like scene. And
I feel like that. Yeah. I feel like the people that are like listeners of it just don't even listen to the radio a lot of that time.
No, it's more word of mouth, exchanging like CDs for that era.
It's a whole market untapped almost.
yeah.
I feel like if they knew how to craft the right way to fucking tap into that, they'd be smart. In alternative radio instead of this pop shit and just the constant Jay-Z, maybe Beyonce, fucking Justin Bieber, whatever. Like it's just the same shit over and over again. And these songs.
And that's the thing. That's what bothers me a lot, is not that it's not good music. It's just that it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Because the labels are listening to stuff that works on radio, so then just like rush to sign indie artists, they can copy over that and take over that sound really as quick as they can, sell that stuff, and keep moving on. That's what they do. That's the name of the game.
It's a poor algorithm for success.
And that's why radio's dying too. I don't know who listens to radio. The only people who listen to radio are the people that have no choice in the matter. The only time I listen to radio now is when I'm in my company van, driving down.
Yes.
I haven't plugged in my phone, and I can promise you, I'm fucking pressing skip 90% of the time till I find fucking 107.7 Mix FM where I'm getting my 80s. That's where I'm going, because it's all garbage.
Until I hear like fucking Journey when the lights go down in the city, fucking, I'm like skipping along. I'm like, what the fuck? When the lights...
Exactly.
There it is.
And I'm like, oh,
you're like, oh, thank
good.
God. Thank God.
Yes, it's a nice break from this.
Yeah, and that's just the reality. I don't know who listens to radio anymore, because like now I feel like everyone has the options now. They listen to their Spotify, they listen to their
all
their
curated.
Pandora, or like podcasts. Like that's where it's going anyway. Radio's fucking dead, and it should be, because
radio is dead.
It's run by idiots that just
fucking old dudes with way too much money that need to fucking die.
It's just that old family money.
Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's that
seriously.
old family money.
I mean, like.
Yeah.
It's like any of the companies in the U.S., it's
Absolutely.
all tied into the same thing, leading back up the tree to like 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I'm liking this progression, the change of it, and it looks into the alternative of like how like back to Thief Club. I feel like it's going to be more independent again instead of these big fucking labels that are controlling everything. And we've talked about this with numerous artists on the show, but it's just like in this age, you guys are able to produce your content and say, fuck you, you're not going to come over here and tell me, oh, I need to make this a little more poppy, or maybe I need to make this a little more harder, or whatever,
Well, and there's a difference, too, between constructive criticism versus just, no, we're looking for something else. And it's like, well, then fucking... You're not looking for me then, like.
Yeah. Well, like you said, there's power now, because like anyone has that platform now to get their music out, and that's an amazing fucking thing. And we've all seen it now, like where artists will put out their shit on SoundCloud or whatever, and like things like Post Malone, like one of the biggest artists out there. He just started from grassroots, just doing his own thing. Yeah, and
absolutely.
it's a beautiful
it's
a beautiful way to get around all the bullshit. But there's also a balance too, because now it just makes more noise for the internet, and it's hard to sift out what you should listen to and what you shouldn't, because you're bombarded with crap all day from so many other people. So it's an interesting, yeah, it's an interesting balance. However, I think it's a balance that's worth it. 1,000,000%. You know, like
hell yeah.
I'd rather have more selection of like stuff that I might not like than like them picking what I'm allowed to like.
Exactly. And, you know, like me, like coming from an artist that we were right on the cusp of like when artists were selling records to when CDs just stopped falling off. And I can bitch all I want about people not buying records. Yes, it's a real thing and it's a problem. However, when I think about all the things I have, like I can look up any answer I want on my phone. Anytime I want, all that shit. Is it a good trade? Yeah, it's a good trade.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are going to pay for music, you know, but, you know, music can get out there. Like, it's always like a bullshit thing. Like, well, at least you have more exposure. People aren't going to buy things anymore. That's just how it is. Especially with music, people are entitled to music now. They're just like, they will not buy it for shit. They won't. However, everything you get with internet,
music and film.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, and even podcasts, you know, people like we've done over 110 episodes, and they're all free for anyone to go out there and listen to at any point in time. So, you know, the model these days seems to be to go more towards like let the people who want to support you support you. And
that's what it has to be.
Give them everything you can to show that you give a shit.
Yep. And there's you know there's a purity in that. You know, there's a really deep purity.
Yes.
Because the people that really love to do it are going to do it, and the people that really, really love you are going to support that as well. There's always going to be people that skip by and they're not going to pay for it and stuff. It doesn't mean that they don't like it at all. It's just the way that it's how we're breeding people now. That's the truth of the internet.
Some people can and some people can't.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and it seems like the trade-off with music today is like you guys got to make your money really performing these days instead of, you know, the copy, the actual physical copy of a CD, a record, tape, whatever. It just seems like, you know, with Spotify, with Pandora, people don't pay for a physical.
I wonder how much a Patreon model would work for a band.
That's another thing, is like I wonder these other expectations, like you know, if like say Hit the Lights had a Patreon, like how that would work. But like it just seems like it's a transition to where people that are the fans want to pay to see you guys live. That's how you're going to make your money now, instead of like the old model, which, you know, was obviously selling records was the biggest income, and then touring was just the sugar on top.
Right. It is definitely the opposite now. 1,000,000%. So, and I think like slowly it seems like, you know, it's all happening so fast. And I think we can all agree with that. Really fast, especially in the grand scheme of things, like the internet and all this stuff. Like, I don't know where it's gonna go. Like, it's about to get really fucking weird. It's about to get like
real weird,
fucking weird, real fucking fast. So it's gonna be a crazy time. I'm happy I'm alive for it. I hope I stay around for a little bit because, like I said,
too.
I can't stress enough how fucking weird it's gonna get. Like with even like Twitter. All this stuff, like all this internet noise and shit, and even with the Trump presidency and all this stuff, fake news stuff, this is getting fucking crazy. It's getting fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where you're questioning your own reality.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Reality. Yeah.
Which is dangerous for humans.
Man. But is it?
We all at least got to be on the same page of like what reality is.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys follow me. Like, I don't use Twitter anymore. I haven't used it for a while.
I'm not a Twitter guy. Jesse's our Twitter guy.
Yeah, so we do. We promote the show on it and talk with other podcasts, but that's primarily it.
Yeah. It just like for straight social promotion is like I did Twitter for a long time, and it was a lot of fun. And then like slowly it started shifting and twisting into something that was just like wasn't fun anymore. It's a weird thing. But a couple weeks ago, I got a text from my guitarist Kevin. He's like, "Hey man, just so you know, this conservative Trump group has targeted some tweets of yours from 2010." And immediately my stomach dropped. I was like, "Oh Jesus," because I've said terrible things on my Twitter. So I was like, "Oh, here we go." But it was about they took a bunch of tweets about me making jokes about eating babies, and said that I was part of the Pizzagate, and I was a pedivore, and I was part of Illuminati, and I'm a baby eater, and I got these giant this massive flood of these QAnon. Have you heard of QAnon?
Oh, I've heard of QAnon.
Yeah. So whatever that is, but there was a bunch of these fucking stupid people who were just like bombarding me, like adding the like FBI and stuff to like try to oust me as a baby eater. I was like, this is the weirdest shit. I could not have predicted this.
Bottom part of the iceberg, like conspiracy theory people.
Yeah. And I guess
these are InfoWars subscribers.
That's exactly what they were. And they go around, like, I guess because my account was verified, so they would try to get verified people fired from their jobs or whatever. So, like, first off, you're scraping the fucking bottom of the barrel with me, people. Second off, like I'm like self-employed, like
place is gonna fucking get rid of me.
I was hoping, I was like semi-hoping, and I don't want. I should just knock on wood, but I was semi-hoping that Lori would get a call, but like, you're hiring baby eaters. You make me sick. And I was hoping I'd get a call.
What he does on his lunch break, I have no control over.
Yes, exactly. So like that kind of stuff of just how weird it's fucking getting to that point where like. It's just getting so bizarre and like
completely out of touch with reality at that point.
Yes, 1,000,000%. And it's all this internet noise and like some of these like who knows? These could have been like some Russian bots, like because there were so many of these weird accounts that were like hitting me up about like throwing me in jail, but then like they'd have like one follower and like it was just so bizarre. So bizarre.
Yeah, it's just like mirror accounts, you know, people. And that's the thing. Like these days, you can weaponize like anything online. You can do a lot of good with the internet, or you can do a lot of bad. It's a tool just like anything else, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you're putting some great music out on the online for our access through Spotify and all the other channels, as opposed to tweeting ridiculous conspiracy theories. For example,
that's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to fucking make music that I like, and the fact that I can connect with people
and eat babies
on that. No. That's what it's all been about.
Hell yeah. What's next, real quick, before we wrap this up? What's next? Are we going to hear more Hit the Lights, or are we going to hear more of the Thief Club? What is going to be the next thing we hear?
I've just decided recently that I'm going to do another Thief Club record.
Cool.
So my aim is to have it out by spring. What I want to do is not say a thing about it and then just release it in spring. Like Eminem did with Kamikaze. But you guys are really nice, and I've taken a couple shots of Jim Beam, so you get the exclusive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, alcohol is the lube that will lead the way.
Social lubricant. Yes.
We try to. We people don't know this, but we put that in the pre-meeting. We say, you must have a little bit of alcohol before we talk to you.
I think it's fair.
We breathalyze all our guests.
Not there yet.
They're over the limit,
Yep, yeah. Not there yet. Man. Head back there. Come back to me when you've had a couple shots of Rumplemans.
There you go.
Exactly.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Nick.
Yeah, man. We're fans for over a decade, and it's been a fucking pleasure. And we're looking forward to the next release of the Thief Club. And when it comes out, we want you back on.
Oh, please! I think we're friends now, right?
We're friends now.
That's how it works.
Immediately. Did we just become best friends? I think
so.
I think
so.
We did.
Fantastic.
I think we did.
Thank you guys for having me. I fucking appreciate it. It's been a blast.
Man, it was fucking awesome.
Do you want to throw out like your Instagram handle or anything? People follow you?
You'll find me if you want to. Who fucking cares?
There you go.
We're all gonna die anyway. Come on.
Yeah, and we'll be posting all that stuff up on our Facebook and all that shit anyway. So.
Oh, good man. Just happy to be here.
And people, if you want to check us out, Facebook, American Slacker Podcast, also on Instagram. You can find promos for each and every show, American Slacker Podcast, and the website, aspodcast.com.
I'm going to subscribe right now.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We're also on Twitter and Reddit. All the episodes are on YouTube. Please rate and review the show and tell a friend. Create more slackers out there. That's what we want to see.
Hell yeah. And, hey, if you want to talk shit about Nick, send us an email, slackerpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to tell us the secrets about this guy, if you know this guy,
please
let us know.
Please.
Dirt emailed to us? Is that what's going on?
I don't know where I'm bringing this, but we're bringing it there.
I encourage it. I need humbled. I'm way out of my head right now. I need humbled for sure.
All right, Spotify. Hey, check out Hit the Lights. Check out Thief Club. All right, 2 separate words. Make sure you type it in like that. You will find some fucking music that you will love, all right? They will be featured on our American Slacker Podcast featured artist playlist, and also check out our show there, American Slacker Podcast. Spotify's the shit. It's easy, makes it nice and easy. Just whatever you want, all right? Check it out. And also, check out our personal shit. You can catch me on Instagram at MWG Media and on Xbox Live at Matty G from HP.
And you can catch me on both of those things at Landers the Plane.
Mr. Nick Thompson, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure fanboying out, having you on. We've been fans for a while, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It was awesome. I'll definitely do it again.
Awesome. We look forward to having you again. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
I gather stones when the weight of the world is too much. Rather suffer than not have enough. Building castles that sink into sand. In search of land lost in a fog. Made my peace with that, floated on, and then you came along and helped me light my way. And all the times I wasted on someone that wasn't you. Like all along I should've known, but now I found the truth. If I could just wake up to you, make love to you, that's all I wanna do. So guide me like a lighthouse back to you. I know it's hard, I miss the weight of your head on my chest. I miss keeping you warm in your bed, making moments I'll never forget. Like the ocean breeze, you came along to lift my sails, to take me home. And when you're gone, I can barely stay afloat. And all the times I wasted on someone that wasn't you. Like all along I should've known, but now I found the truth. If I could just wake up to you, make love to you, that's all I wanna do. So guide me like a lighthouse back to you. And I'll be